What's up, everybody? How are you this evening? This is the fabulous 4+1 tonight. We have special guest. I'm going to introduce her a little later on, but you know her when you hear her voice. We are Brown Sugar Confessions, and we are coming to you on Power 1017. I am Doc Val, your resident clinical sexologist, sexual scientist, and researcher, and we are so excited for tonight's show. So I'm not going to talk about it. We're just going to jump into it. Let's talk to these amazing co-hosts. Treese Love, how you doing tonight?
I am doing amazing. I'm super happy. I just got back from an amazing concert, and I'm just happy.
What concert did you go see?
I went to go see Tori Amos. She is a singer-songwriter, really big in the 90s and early 2000s, but has been on the scene for quite a while. And I've been waiting 23 years to see her live. Yeah, I found her when I was 18 years old in the military. And
that's last week.
Yeah, right. I got married, and when you get married to somebody that you really don't like and they don't really like you, you put all your dreams aside, right?
That's a separate episode, Treese, but yes.
And, you're just trying to get through it. And as life goes on, I got divorced. Yay. And I met amazing people. Yay. And they decided to treat me to see Tori Amos. It was a complete surprise. And I cried. I cried the whole concert. I cried on my way in. I cried when I saw the marquee. I cried at the merch table. I cried getting my drink on. It was a mess. It was a mess.
That sounds like a beautiful surprise. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, yeah. We're jealous down here. Miss T, what's up with you, gorgeous from Georgia? You better have something more than the daggone weather today.
Well, I mean, I like to start with the weather. It's a high in the 90s.
I knew it.
By the way, mostly cloudy.
We can't break a tradition.
But I will say this. We are officially in the 90s mark here. So we're to the point where everybody's trying to hit up a pool. And this is the time of year I remember why I don't do pools, because everybody and their mama is trying to get into a pool or somewhere up in Lake Lanier, and I absolutely refuse to go to Lake Lanier. So I'm trying to get to a beach at some point.
I hear you. Well, Miss KD, what's up with you, love, in Delaware?
Well, today it was sunny with partially clouds.
We are 80 degrees.
I can't even. I told him, y'all. I don't want to hear no more daggone weather. People do not listen for this show for the daggone weather. Quit the weather.
They know good and well. They expect the weather from us at this point. So we have to give them what they expect.
You gotta give the people what they want.
Yes.
Free the weather.
Partially cloudy with a high of 80 degrees. It was a wonderful day today. I've spent the last few weeks just traveling. I've been traveling mostly in my little East Coast tri-state area, but I've been everywhere from Delaware to Jersey to practically New York.
And you didn't come see me?
Not that far. First off, you're way up there in New York. I mean,
I'll meet you
I don't
halfway.
even know how to get to that part. we will link up very soon. All you have to do is say a word. But hopefully soon, I'll be traveling even further. I'm looking forward to several trips between California and Washington State. So I'm just excited because it's almost summer. It's going to be hot. I'm trying to have hot girl summer. It's about to be on and popping.
If you haven't done so, get to YouTube and see us right now on Brown Sugar Confessions. And we have the amazing, beautiful, our resident host coming back, Cece from California. Welcome, sweetheart.
Welcome, ladies.
Cece's back.
I miss you guys. You belly dancing babes. You guys have been everywhere, showing off your moves. Oh God, so sexy, all of it, on fire, totally on fire. I'm serious.
Thank you, Cece. So, what's going on in California besides the weather?
Well, I'm not gonna. The weather's always beautiful here, so you don't want to be too jealous.
Okay, what you going to talk about tonight?
Forget about the weather. I do have a hot topic here, though, that you might want to hear about.
Hot topic. We want to hear what's going on in Cece's world because Cece, we have a nickname. Cece, hold on. We have a nickname for you. You don't know this until now.
Ooh.
You want to know what we call you?
We do?
Yeah, because when we went to Roatan, we were always looking for you.
Oh.
And you were always off twirling somewhere. Twirling in a CC world. Your nickname is Twirler. That is what we call you.
I like
because you
that.
just twirl.
I like that.
Just
out of country, that's when that's the time to be free. When
yes.
you're on a vacation, that you don't need to worry about anything. I just twirl away from all that stress.
Exactly. Especially when you got a lot of edibles in your carry-on, but we're going to keep it moving.
Always good. That's always good. You can always feed the happiness.
Did you say you can feed the happiness?
Yeah, happiness. Yeah.
Ooh, that's going to be someone's daggone slogan. I can see that on a THC or TCBY, whatever. I said TCBY.
We're not going to get ice cream.
Get some yogurt later, Dr. Val?
Wow. Okay. Go ahead with your hot topic.
So of course, we're all traumatized by the abortion turnover in the government. And there's some positive things coming out of, this horrible political conundrum we find ourselves in. And in Starbucks, big company, that for their U.S. companies, they are going to cover all the travel expenses for any of their employees that are seeking abortions or gender reassignment surgeries. If they
wow.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Do they go to HR and say, I'm going to get an abortion and get it covered? I mean,
if they do not have access to the procedures within 100 miles of their home, a Starbucks will cover the travel expenses and the cost of the procedures to receive it in a place where they can get access.
Yeah, really progressive, CC.
Well,
I think it's awesome.
Those details aren't in there, but these services are a part of healthcare. I would imagine that the intimate details of whatever procedure you need, I think it's probably at your own discretion whether you disclose it or not. I don't know that your employer is legally entitled to that information. I think that's at your discretion.
You just give them the bill after.
They'll probably have some way of discreetly asking for the service or saying, I need some help here or whatever. I'm sure they'll have some system set up.
Yeah, and I would imagine it would involve human resources. So they probably, I know that with Starbucks it's a much smaller environment typically, but they probably have like a phone number or something you could call to get your basic needs taken care of by human resources. So just in my imagination, you probably can call and they can help you with benefits and services over the phone, which would probably help with the discretion part of it.
Exactly.
Right.
Because it would be
that would make sense.
A corporate arrangements by the sounds of it.
Or I hope that, more companies take Starbucks lead and take care of their employees like that. Because I think that's pretty progressive. So what else is going on out there?
Oh, man. There's so much happening. We got like amazing couples. Did y'all hear about the one couple where the mom had a son, right? And I guess she gave the son up. A few years later, it's like you guys know the story of Oedipus, right?
Explain it.
Okay, so Oedipus is a character from Greek mythology who essentially he was the son of a king. The king had went to go get a prophecy done. Prophecy said, "You're going to get killed by your son." and your son's going to marry his wife. He was like, well, he said it was the first male son. So he was like, okay, well, his wife has a son. So they're like, yeah, he got to go because he might kill me in the future. So he gives the kid to his servant and says, go kill this kid. Servant is like, I can't do it. It's a kid. So he has a friend. He gives the kid to a friend because the friend lived in like a whole nother city. Mm-hmm. Kid grows up, leaves his family, walking down the road, has an argument with a guy in a chariot, kills that guy because he got like road rage. He kills that guy, keeps going to the city, gets to the city. City has a monster problem. He kills the monster, becomes king of the city. The city had a queen, mm-hmm. and the queen had lost her husband. So he ends up marrying the queen and having kids with the queen. And then eventually things start getting put together. Lo and behold, guy finds out the queen that he married was his mother. The guy that he killed was his father.
Wow.
That he killed. Backtracking to what I was saying about the lady, she has a son. She gives up the son. 30 years later, she meets a guy, ends up getting into a relationship with this guy, having sex with this guy, finds out that guy is her son.
Like, how old was she when she had the child?
It doesn't say. I don't think it said in the article.
He went to look for.
He tracked her down?
He went to look for his biological mother.
So he
tracked her down.
His mother when he was engaged.
Yes.
In this.
Yes.
And the mother where it was her son.
Oh no, she knew.
Oh, damn.
She knew. They met.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, they met as mother and son. He said, "Oh, I'm coming to visit. Can I meet with you?" And yes, I'd love to meet my son. And they got together, as people do. Sometimes they confuse emotions, and they take emotions and push it into sex. Because let's be honest,
You sound like a bad porn.
Let's be honest, with with adoption, there are abandonment issues, guilt, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And sometimes instead of dealing with your emotions, you kind of you form these trauma bonds, if you understand my meaning. And instead of dealing with those issues, you get confused and you want to make it right. And a lot of people confuse making it right with having sex.
Like that seems a lot of gray area crossover.
In this case, sex did not solve the issue.
No. And they're actually saying that they have some form of, I don't want to call it just like a mental issue. And it's called a phenomenon called genetic sex attraction. So that means if your genetics match, you're like sexually attracted to the person. I personally think that's BS. I think it's something that somebody made up to just be like, hey, we got this condition. We could do what we want. We got a name for it. But it was really weird. The son was married when he went to go meet his mom and ended up telling his wife, I can't have sex with you without thinking about my mom.
Oh,
whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's
whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's quite messed up, right? I mean, what do you say when you knowingly, it's one thing to have the Oedipus complex where you don't know this is your mother or your biological father and you engage in sex. That's a separate little box to put you in.
All right, so I have a question. So he left his wife. Now they're together. Do they plan on remaining in a relationship? I'm confused.
Yes, they are in a relationship while they're not open about it as they used to be because they don't like how their friends and family and outsiders responded to them. They're still in a relationship to this day and don't see it ending.
Wow, that's wild. Incest is illegal in all states except New Jersey and Rhode Island. So if they don't live in one of those two states, just the simple act alone is illegal. And I hope they don't plan on getting married because there's no state in the United States that allows incest marriages. And it don't get more incest than mother and son. That's the most incest of incest that you can have.
They knew that they were mother and son. and they chose this, right? So anyway, whatever. I'm going to jump right into tonight's show. What do you think are some really great traits of couples that stay together that have really good sex?
Communication.
Communication.
I mean, people who actually. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, communication. I have to agree. Communication and playfulness.
I like that. Playfulness. What about you, KD?
I mean, if someone figures out all the answers, y'all can let me know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I agree. Communication is definitely key because even if things are great at some point, if we don't communicate, things can go bad and no one's going to tell each other. So communication is definitely a huge one. I think another one is just kind of willingness to be a little different from time to time. A lot of times people get caught up in routines, and in order to kind of keep things alive, you got to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and routine. I believe, maybe not, maybe there's two vanilla people who like to do the same vanilla things all the time, but I think even the most vanilla person will want something different from time to time. I don't know.
Okay. All right. That's good answers, y'all. So there was this study. It was actually a study that was done, and they interviewed 64 individuals. And they pulled out from the 64 individuals some actual traits of what made a really great sex life for couples. So I'm going to read them off. And by the way, if you want this, we're going to offer this to all of our listeners. All you have to do is go to brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com, drop us an email, and we're going to send this out to you. So the first one was like being present with your partner. Oftentimes when people are engaging in sex, the giver is not there. One of the partners is totally in left field. He's not even looking at his partner, but they're not present. The second one was have a deep connection or feeling that you're becoming one with your partner. And when you've been married for a long time or together with someone for a long time, having that deep connection isn't always something that's very easy to obtain. And I think it was, everyone talked about this, communication, but they talked about empathetic communication. Being able to listen to your partner as if it's you, really feeling what your partner's saying. We don't often listen to our partners like that. We listen from a state of about me, not really thinking about how they are interjecting into that. Okay. And so the third one is profound intimacy and having trust and respect for your partner. That goes without saying, but intimacy is a really big deal. But also it was noted that no one talked about having an orgasm. Orgasm was not like a big deal for these couples to have to be considered having good sex. It was just the relationship, the intimacy, the communication. And Miss T, did you have a question about that one earlier?
Oh, no, I was going to say when you were talking about how your partner has to be one with you, I was going to say our couple from before were one with each other for a while.
See?
And then came back.
Miss T, why you take me back there? Why? But they was one in a whole...
I mean, listen, I just saw the ammo. You didn't have to.
There you go. It was perfect. They were definitely one. Speaking of being one, the next one is being safe. That's a really big deal for couples to have longevity and having good sex. Is they have to feel safe with each other, and I really think that might refer to, for me, when I read that, I was like, I want that refer to the female partner, where she has to feel safe and secure in order to really surrender and let go.
Well,
and the next one was surrender. Yeah, Cece.
Well, it is important for women to feel safe. Always, of course, with their partner, but a man also needs to feel safe to be
Absolutely
to relax and reach, really deep levels of intimacy.
Men also do need to feel safe. That makes a lot of sense. So
It's not just physical safeness, it's emotional security, mental security. So the whole ball of wax.
Mm-hmm. The next one is surrender, or the ability to give yourself to your partner before you feel comfortable. And I think that falls back to feeling safe. but surrender and know that whatever your desire is, whatever your kink is, that you can be free to explore, which is the seventh one, without fear or guilt or shame. That's a really big deal. I think a lot of couples, especially when you've been together for a while, you have such hindrance about sharing your deepest, darkest sexual fantasy, or for the fear that your partner might be turned off by it or think you're weird or, all those things. And so I think having trust, being authentic, being safe will allow you to explore new ways of being intimate with your partner. And the last one was transcendence, really feeling bliss and ecstasy and peace. Like there's no sense of time when you're with that partner. That one for me, when I read it, and I read it several times, is the hardest for younger couples, maybe for couples with kids. Let me put it like that. Because when you have kids, it's really hard not to think about, the kids are going to wake up. They might come in the room. The baby might cry. So I think not having a sense of time really is harder for a younger couple, one with children, than for a couple that's been together longer, don't have kids in the house. Because you don't worry about someone coming in. You can take, 8 hours to explore tantric sex, where if you have children or, teenagers, you get the drill. You don't have that 8 or 9 hours to play around with it. We're going to send this to you because you listen to this show on Brown Sugar Confessions. All you have to do is go to brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. Send us an email, and we're going to send this to you. Make sure that you also go to YouTube, like and subscribe. But this is our gift to you for liking the show.
All right. And I believe we are about ready for break. So everyone go ahead, grab your drinks, take a few minutes, get a little stretch on, and we'll be back here shortly with Brown Sugar Confessions on Power 1017.
Welcome back to Brown Sugar Confessions. We want to thank you all for joining us again. We hope you have your drinks and everything in hand because we're going to get into the second part of the show. If you want to listen to us, of course, you can catch us on Power 1017 on Wednesday nights. You can also now catch us on Spotify. Look for us at Brown Sugar Confessions. You can look at us because we are beautiful on YouTube. Brown Sugar Confessions. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you want to confess to us at Brown Sugar Confessions, you can reach us at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. And if you find yourself during this episode or any other episode thinking, you know what, I could use some professional help and some guidance, please reach out to Doc Val at Valerie@swancenter.com. That is VALERIE at Swan, SWANNCENTER.com. Oh, I forgot. We're on Twitter.
Yes.
You better
Hey!
come see us on Twitter and also come check us out on TikTok. At Dr. Valerie Nefertiti, and let's get our sillies on.
And we are silly. I get silly on TikTok. I have fun on TikTok.
Yes, it's great. Don't you have millions of views on TikTok?
I do. A
Right.
couple of my videos went viral. So yeah, I've got millions of views up in there. So yeah, I like my TikTok. My granddaughter put me on it, and then she had 10 followers, and then I had 200. Then I went to like 24,000, and she was like, "I'm out." She was like, "I'm done, my mama. I'm
Dang.
done. Anyhow, that's
Oh
what
my
happens when we get the
God.
old school on the new school. We're gonna take over. Cause now TikTok is all about old school. We old on TikTok now. I love it. It's a lot of fun.
So let's get into our next hot topic and get into the juicy stuff.
You guys know that I love the weird and the insane. First of all, this is going to come with a content warning and a possible trigger warning. First of all, has anyone watched the documentary Our Father on Netflix?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, yes.
The first 5
Yes.
minutes before I fell
Okay.
asleep.
First 5 minutes?
I
KD,
have
okay. How about
not,
you,
but
Cece? Have you
I'm
seen it?
now that you told me about it.
Okay, so listeners, if you have not watched the Netflix documentary called Our Father, and you don't want to hear it, I suggest you put your fingers in your ears and go la 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 for the next 5 to 7 minutes. All right. So for the rest of us, go ahead and get your drink out, because it's going to get a little strange. In the honor of Mercury retrograde, just go ahead and just put your drink in your hand. So, if you are not familiar with the documentary Our Father, it is following an Indiana infertility doctor named Dr. Donald Klein, who was supposed to be helping several couples with their infertility, i.e., IVF, getting viable sperm, putting it into the mother so that she can have a child, maybe her husband's sperm, maybe a donor that they picked out. Oh no. He decided it was going to be his sperm. It so happens that one of his children, or who did not know she was his child at first, did an ancestry test. And then not only did she find out that her father, who she thought was her father, was not her father, she also found out that there were several other people who share her DNA. Dr. Klein originally said only happened like maybe 3 times. Turns out now there are over 70 siblings and counting.
70. Yeah, I thought it was actually 99 or over 90, but yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it might be over 90 because I know, from what I understand, this is a situation that's happened, years before, and that Netflix just did the documentary on it. So at the time that I believe Netflix had recorded it, they said it was 70 and counting.
Okay.
So it's probably definitely more than that.
Yeah. I thought that was one crazy show that this doctor had the audacity to violate these women the way they did. I think what was really creepy was that he would bring them into his office. He would put them on the examination table. He would go and take care of his physical business, ejaculate, put it in a cup, and then come back with his own sperm and inject these women. That's a huge violation. And a lot of people we've been arguing about this, and my friends, they're like, well, it was going to be a unidentified sperm donor anyway. I said, granted, you don't know who the sperm donor is, but also that sperm donor, is in the next room jacking off, basically, and then coming in and sticking it inside of you. It's a different way of being and presenting, and it's a violation. I don't care how you look at it. And one lady used the word rape, that she thought she was violated. She was raped by him. I was like, it was pretty disgusting.
It was unconsensual, especially because he didn't even say, hey, we don't have any viable donors. However, if you don't mind, I can be your donor.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times your donor has to go through certain things in order to be a donor. And this is the other thing that they said with what happened. Even if he was a donor, wanted to be a donor, he wouldn't have been selected because he had an autoimmune disease. So now all his children, all the siblings from his sperm have autoimmune diseases.
Yeah, it was. What about you? You haven't seen it yet, Cece,
I
have
haven't
you?
seen it. I just looked it up now, and I had heard like some chatter about it before it was released. Miss T, do you know if most of the individuals, like the kids, ended up living in the same area as adults?
One of my, from what, if I remember correctly, a lot of the women who had got IVF from that infertility clinic were within a 10-mile radius of each other.
That's scary.
So a lot of them were having children and they didn't know that these kids are related. So there's a fair chance that some of these kids might have gotten together and did not know.
What are the
Oedipus all
legal
over the place.
consequences for this doctor?
A couple of days in jail and then they let him out.
Yeah, he had a $500 fine, right? Was it something like this? A very $500 and so many days in jail or suspended sentence? I forget. We don't want to give all the spoilers.
Yeah, long story short, he's out. And part of me is like, how did nobody try to put hands on this guy?
Still alive?
Exactly.
That's the one thing I haven't figured
Is he
out.
still alive?
Yeah, he's still
Donald
alive.
Klein?
He's still alive.
And he lives in Indiana.
Can we want him?
I think it would be interesting to talk to him, to interview him.
Yeah, Dr. Klein, we're Brown Sugar Confessions. We want to talk to you. So come on and talk.
What were you thinking, buddy?
Yeah, like really, what were you thinking, buddy? Absolutely. And that nobody beat
It was
you
like
up.
a whole
Like, is that his
complex.
kink stuff?
Yeah.
Like it was like a whole
that's a
complex
sexual
complex
kink right
situation.
That was the motivator,
And
I would
also-
say, right?
Well, they haven't concluded if that was a motivator or not, if it was some kind of kink, or sexual perversion and or kink, shall I say? Which was interesting that all the kids, and the kids said that they looked like, they were all blonde and blue eyed, like he was trying to build like the perfect Aryan race of children, something.
That's what one of the daughters said.
Yeah, so it was.
That's one of the daughters said. She's like, we're all blonde hair, blue eyes. We look like, the perfect Aryan children. And like, the more she thought about it, the more it creeped her out. Because she didn't realize how many siblings she had.
Inseminated women who were blonde and blue-eyed?
No, they weren't blonde and blue-eyed. The mothers aren't.
No, they were seeming like,
most of them aren't.
No, they weren't. From what I saw, they weren't. Well, they were great at this time, but I don't know what they looked like when they were younger. But their children, their offspring, because he was, I guess, blonde back in the day. But it was a really creepy, strange story. And I guess if you're searching for IVF, that's a big interest for you. And check it out and let us know what you think. Send us an email at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com, because honestly, we just thought it was creepy as crap. Tonight, and I also want to say, Dr. Klein is not exactly 20 years old either. He's an old dude. He was not 20. He was not 30.
Yeah.
He was old, going in that little bathroom next to these women's room. And obviously, he did not have a decline in his libido.
Yeah.
That's a perfect segue into our next conversation.
Can't call him lazy.
No, you could not call Klein lazy.
Nah.
And nor can you say that his libido was on a decline, because apparently it wasn't. But what I'm going to talk about next is something that I get more emails than anything, is like people's libido is declining. And so let's talk about it, shall we? And let's get into some reasons why it's happening. And let's talk about the libido, and then we'll talk about some things that you could do to pick up your libido. And this goes for whatever your sexuality, or your gender may be. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So here's what's real. Everyone's libido is different. And also what is about libido is that it's fluid. I don't think people realize it, and it changes over time. Some people have lower libido, during child rearing. You might have depression. Some libidos might be sky high because you're having you got a promotion, jobs are going great, whatever the case may be. Remember, the libido is constantly fluctuating. If you have a libido and it's not bothering you, if you're not getting distressed that you're not interested in wanting to have sex or being intimate, then that's not a problem for you. And I want to preface that again by saying, if it is not bothering you at all, that you do not want to have sex, that you notice that you have a decline in having sex, this is not about you. This is for those that this issue is bothering them. There's a huge distinction in that, all right? I want to get that out there. When we talk about the libido, we often think about age. And it's not always about age that causes someone's libido to go down. So let's jump into some of the causes of it. And ladies, just jump on in here as we talk about, some libidos and what we can do to pick them all up. Because I remember in my 20s, it was low. I remember in my 30s, it was, yeah. I remember in my 40s, I was a 16-year-old pubescent boy. I was just,
That's what I hear.
I was constantly,
That's what I
yeah,
hear.
I was in heat. I'm not going to lie. Doc Val said it. I was like a little cat. I was in heat in my 40s. I was meowing all over
Were
the
you
room.
yelling? You were like, yeah.
I was constantly yelling, you know, I was in heat. I don't even know how. I thought I had a problem, okay? Because I'm like, this cannot be normal. I'm too old to have this type of drive. And apparently, you know, based upon who I am and what I was going through and my own body chemistry, I was right on track. I was right where I was supposed to be. And I thought it was a problem.
I got a quick question.
What, babe?
I guess I don't even know how to word it correctly. Is that part of perimenopause?
For some women, yes, it is. Not for all, but for some women,
Okay.
they will notice a spike in their drive. It makes you, honestly, the only way I could really describe it is, and it was the best time of my life, and it was also the scariest time. I'm like, why didn't I have this drive in my 20s and 30s? Hello, what happened to my kitty cat?
Right.
But anyway, right?
I'm kind of nervous for myself because, you know, I'm not too far away. And I'm like, I don't know how to handle that, knowing that it's coming.
It might come and then it might not. Miss T, just get ready to go for the road, girl. If it is, God bless you, because you're going to be in it. I'm just like, you know, Atlanta,
I
get
mean,
ready.
Brown Sugar Confessions. Brown Sugar Confessions. We're going to be on an adventure in the next couple of years, so y'all stay tuned.
Stay tuned, because it's going to be a crazy ride if Miss T goes where I went. Anywho, why am I talking about me on this show? That's what we do on Brown Sugar. Don't judge me. We're just going to talk about it. So the first thing Miss T talked about is, right, hormone just changes. You know, your estrogen level might be dropping. You know, our T's for our men are dropping. Those are some things that's going to affect your libido. We all know that. And there's so many things on the market that you can do. So many professionals you can go talk to. As I said, we're going to give you a bonus on this one. If you send us an email like us on YouTube, we're going to send you some resources that you can actually have. So make sure that you do that. We'll give you all the links at the end. The second thing that we talked about earlier, which is no surprise, is age. Age and hormones goes hand in hand, right? I mean, when you're aging, your hormones are going to change. So that wasn't a big like mind blower for me. But with age also comes some other physical concerns. Arthritis. And you don't think about how arthritis can affect your libido. But let's talk about knees. I'm going to go there with your knees. You know,
So you can't bend over the way you used to.
You can't bend over the way you used to. The doggy style. I've had people come in and say, I can't get on my knees. That was my favorite position, you know, the doggy style. My knees hurt. You know, what do I do for my knees? So arthritis, inflammation. Yoga. Does that help you with knee inflammation?
Yoga.
Does it?
Because a lot of times when, especially if you have an office job, your hip flexors and your hamstrings get tight because you're in that one position the entire time. So you have to you have to stay in motion and do your stretching a lot. And what happens is that loosens up the muscles that connect to your hips and a couple of your muscles that go from your hips to your knees.
Okay. See, Miss T has a resource right there. We're going to make sure that you get this, but you better go to YouTube and like and subscribe to us to get all this juice that we're giving you tonight, because doctors charge you for this, and we're not. We're just saying, hey, send us that email. We're going to give it to you as our bonus for thanking you for listening. So, Miss T, that also explains about chronic pain, too, because with arthritis, you can also have a lot of pain with that as well, right?
One of the things you can do, one is find a set of motion that you can do on the regular. So whether that's yoga, whether that's Tai Chi, working out. If you have arthritis, you might want to consider heat therapy to help with blood flow to get into your joints.
Oh, those are some good tips, Miss T. We're going to have all that out there for you guys. So chronic pain is another problem that affects us as we age. In addition, we don't often talk about this, but tonight we are, because we're Brown Sugar and we go where no one else is going to go. Incontinence. We're going to go there. People are raising up their hands. I get so many emails about incontinence for men and for women. but I'm going to talk about those identify as women, especially when you're having sex. You have this urge like you're going to go pee on yourself. And some people think, oh, I'm doing female ejaculation. And some women have said, no, I'm not. I have to go pee. I have a problem with holding my bladder, and I'm ashamed and embarrassed by it. So I want to tell you there are so many different resources now and medical professions that can help you if that's something that you're suffering with, is leaking urine while you're having penetrative sex. So send us, like I said, that email, and we're going to send you some resources. Talk to some professionals about what you can do that help you if you're having, leaking urine while you're having sex. Also, let's talk about medications. Now, during COVID, one of my problems when I thought about taking the COVID shot was like, is it going to bother my libido? I actually thought about that, and I actually researched it, and it didn't. But that was something that I was personally worried about with the vaccine, but no one was talking about that. But, we were thinking about it. But I did check it, and I didn't see anything.
You were trying to get it in, Darvel.
I was. I didn't want it to be affected. And I had 3 of those daggone shots. Now they want a 4th one. I'm like, well, anyway, we're not going to talk about that. I'm going to move right on. But let's talk about medication. Did you know that blood pressure medicine can affect your libido? Did you guys know that?
Ooh, that's what they have the Viagra for.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
Usually they use Cialis if you have libido issues from blood pressure medication.
And antihistamines also. This is allergy season.
What?
Mm.
That might be why you were talking about the 20s, right? But in my 20s, I was consistently on antihistamines. I had big bottles of Allegra and or Claritin that I would always have all year round because I used to have asthma and allergies. And let me tell you, in my 20s, I barely wanted to do anything. Late 20s, so maybe it was the antihistamines because I stopped taking them in my 30s.
It could have been the antihistamines. Antihistamines is known to just take your libido straight down. And this is, this is allergy. So yes, antihistamines is known as a libido killer. I'm sorry out there who's listening. So yep, allergy season.
So I either got to get it on, or I got to get it on and have like a allergy attack, or I can breathe easy and just kind of be dead.
Yep, pick your poison. Pick your poison. And this one isn't a surprise. But sedatives, sleeping pills. We know that those things are known to decline your libido, as well as antidepressants.
Oh, no, Teresa got something to say.
What is Teresa? She about to crack up down there.
I have a confession.
Oh, we're going to get to the phone. I'm getting right up here. What is it? I'm listening.
I used to play a game with my Tylenol PM. I would take my Tylenol PM and try to beat the Tylenol PM putting me to bed and rub one out or a couple out.
Dang.
The clock is on.
I would have never considered that.
Like
the clock is on. Let's get
it. I had a smooth 15 minutes, and I'd be like, "Can you do it? Ready, set." Yeah, it was a mess. I was a mess. Leave me alone. Don't judge me.
We're not judging you because you know what? I bet you someone's going to write in and say, I've done the same daggone thing. Taking that Tylenol PM, you got 15, 20 minutes before you're going to be knocked out. You're going to rub it out.
Go get cozy. Quick.
Oh, my God. And who else is going to confess? Come on, KD. You need to
Hour.
Cece, I know you need to confess something. What are you
confessing about there? I was honestly thinking the whole time about pineapple.
We're going to talk about that in the next show.
Well, pineapples?
About the pineapple. What about pineapples?
Really good for your libido.
Pineapples?
Yep. Really?
Also really good
I love
for
pineapples.
arthritis because it's a natural anti-inflammatory. Mm-hmm. So
bromelain and pineapples make it inflammatory.
Like pina coladas, I don't know.
Hey, pina coladas. That's my only drink I will do. Yes,
right,
get
Val?
some pina coladas in. That is my favorite. That's all I drink. If I'm drinking, it's only pina colada because I'm a very lightweight when it comes to alcohol. But that's another show We're gonna keep it on moving.
So what you're saying is, listeners, if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, you too can have a libido.
You too could have a libido.
Dr. Val, we are very short on time. I think we might have to provide the rest of these online for our listeners.
Do you think so? Can we just do one more, Katie? We got time for one more, baby.
Come on.
Just
Not really.
Spit it out.
Not really.
Come on. Oh man, I was trying to get them out there. We gave you guys some really good teasers, and we have a whole list of things that will help you with your libido. And keep in mind this: libido is not about age. You could have a high libido. You could have a low libido, as Katie mentioned about herself personally, when you're in your 20s. Or a low libido when you're in your 70s, 80s. But there are things that you can do. You don't have to sit there and just, suffer alone. I was about to say rub one out like Tree said before the time of PM kicks in. Because I'm still thinking, you can still do that too. But we're not going to talk about that. So make sure that you go to YouTube, you like and subscribe, send us that email, but you have to go to YouTube and like us on YouTube and subscribe, and we're going to send you that list. So make sure you do that on this episode of Brown Sugar Confessions. It was a wild ride. Cece, you're always the best. Thank you so much for coming on. We love you. You literally had us having some incontinent moments out this show. We were definitely cracking up with you today. It was always a ride with you. And you know who we are. We are Brown Sugar Confessions. And we thank you so much for listening. And you know what we say here? Stay safe and play safe. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Brown Sugar Confessions on Power 1017. Go to our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram page at Brown Sugar Confessions to like, share, and follow. Stay safe and play safe. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.